I want to say this in all sincerity. Do you want me to look into the camera or look right at you?
Oh, look at the camera.
From the bottom of your heart?
From the bottom of my heart. I am telling you this dead serious. Kevin Stefanski could take over play calling on Monday. You want to know how?
Now, Ken, where are you getting that from?
I'm getting that from Vegas because he might have to take over play calling on Monday because he might have no choice. According to 3 Vegas books out there, take your pick, the leader in the clubhouse, the odds leader for the UCLA job, head coaching job, is a one Tommy Rees. And if you're Tommy Rees, now I don't know what your obligation is. The regular season's another month after this Sunday. I mean, who do they play? Who does UCLA finish up with? Who do we know? We're your home for UCLA Bruins football.
Did they play USC already?
No, they play USC coming up this Saturday, the 29th. They play at home on the road at USC at the Memorial Coliseum. They play on Saturday, November 29th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Be there, be square. And then after that, Tommy Rees is the odds-on leader. If you're Tommy Rees, you're not staying for another month with the Cleveland Browns. I got to go. This is a program that needs, they're on the mat. They need as much help as they possibly can. I think when's your first signing day is in December. Portal opens up in January, if I'm not mistaken. You got to go. You're getting ready to probably play. They're playing in a new stadium. Is that for sure now, SoFi, which is only like 30 minutes away as opposed to an hour and a half away by the traffic that they have out there. I was talking to Carson Schlesinger about that. He goes, it's a long way with traffic. Even with a police escort, it's much.
Yeah, they're bad. Nobody goes to their games now.
And they're playing at SoFi. I don't need to get into that. I mean, you got to go. You got to go if you're Tommy Rees. So if you're him, now that leaves what? Like, you guys got to hope either Jed Fish takes that job or somebody else takes that job, or what's not Nussmeier, for the love of God, the kid. Neuheisel's son. Yeah, you got to hope Neuheisel's son has a crack at that thing. I don't know what Jerry Neuheisel. You got to hope somebody takes it other than him, because I'm serious about this. I like this setup. I like this setup for the Browns, and I like this setup for Shedeur. I think Shedeur and Tommy Rees. Tommy Rees is a guy who's worked with quarterbacks. He's probably working with the young guys. I think there probably is somewhat of a rapport between he and Shedeur Sanders. I think there has to be. I think at the beginning of the year, remember, Kevin's calling the plays at the beginning of the year, so he's got to get going with the veterans, and he's got to get going with the whole Dylan Gabriel thing, whatever that is. And then you got to get ready with another guy. And so you got to give another guy reps. You have Shedeur Sanders. I'm willing to bet that Shedeur Sanders and Tommy Rees have some sort of a connection there.
A rapport.
If Tommy Rees goes, that's it.
Well, so
and then I put Kevin Stefanski back in this position that I'm really not comfortable with anymore.
I don't know. I'll get to that in a second. First of all, I was wondering what ties there were, and I did find the ties that he was born in Los Angeles. He has ties to the UCLA program to his father, Bill, a Bruins assistant from 1979.
His mom was the Bruin mascot. His grandfather played with Jackie Robinson. You guys don't even know. No, I'm kidding. I don't know that part.
But I didn't know that when it came to Tommy.
20 years.
I'm like, what are the ties? Well, apparently there are ties. But the second part of this,
roses.
The second part of this is what would the situation have to be for him to get the Freddie Kitchens nod for the Browns? Because obviously, coaching the Browns would be way superior to coaching UCLA.
The Freddie Kitchens nod?
Yeah.
The what?
The Freddie Kitchens nod.
That he'd be the head coach of the Browns?
Yeah. Go from play caller, next thing you know, you're the head coach of the Browns. Like, crazier things have literally happened.
Take me back through that timeline again. He would stay to be the head coach of the Browns.
Yeah, how would that happen? Because that would only happen if things were going well with the offense. But then why would they fire Stefanski?
They wouldn't fire Stefanski, so it wouldn't happen. That's what I mean. Here. It wouldn't happen here. You've already done this before. I mean, people bring it up with Vrabel all the time, and you and I have kind of tried to dispel that as best we could, but whatever. But going back to this, hold on. It's not an open position right now, and I don't think they want it to be an open position. So the better Shedeur does, the better chance that Kevin has to stay.
Well, also,
people want to disagree and they hate what we're saying all we want, but that's the truth of the matter. No matter what you want to, guys, I'm just telling you the truth. What would be the way?
Also, would an offensive coordinator job, because his title right now, Tommy Rees, is
offensive coordinator.
It's offensive coordinator, and he's now the play caller.
Yeah,
right. So, is there a better situation than UCLA head coach that he could get that he would not want that if it was offered to him?
Yeah, Browns offensive coordinator. I think it's a better job than UCLA head coach. I think that's a tough job. They can sit there and claim all they want. I think it's a very difficult job.
What would that pay?
More than offensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, depending on. You could always turn right around. I mean, Sunday could be a big day for Tommy Rees. if seriously, they're at home. Think about this. Like, Tommy Rees is not. All right, here it is. If he's the number one guy, I'm doing a lot of thinking on the fly here. If he's the number one guy, and this looks like, hey, after this weekend, they're gonna make him an offer, and he's gonna go. If you're Tommy Rees, I may march right into there. If Shedeur balls out against San Francisco, which is a quality football team, if he balls out against San Francisco,
some hardball with Jimmy Haslam.
I may go right over to Jimmy's suite before they even leave the stadium and go, let's talk turkey here. Let's have a discussion here.
But man,
your buddy Jerry Jones made a couple of offensive coordinators, highest paid coordinators in the game, more than a lot of head coaches out there.
This is where it gets interesting.
Let's talk turkey over here,
that
sir.
Brings up, how would Kevin Stefanski feel about that all of a sudden?
Saw an awful lot of number 12 jerseys over in them stands, getting real excited, doing wrists up after that third touchdown. We just beat the brakes off of San Francisco, and all your buddies in the NFL. For whatever reason, I'm doing Macho Man here. All your buddies in the NFL said that this kid, we didn't have it, and here he has it all of a sudden. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing it out. Boy, UCLA, the weather here is fantastic at UCLA. What's the weather out here? Oh, it's snowing out here? And you're not going to build that dome for another 5 years? Okay, well.
They're going to give me a membership at that Westwood instead of this Westwood. It would be pretty interesting. So,
if you're Tommy Rees, your agent has to make that call going, you sure you want to let him go to UCLA? Mm-hmm. I'm just pointing it out. You wouldn't want to get. What are you looking at me like that for? You think it's a good idea, don't you? What?
I didn't even think this is where it was going when we started.
Well,
here
it is.
Here, and I'm a little shocked that you're correct on this.
Thank you. Thank you. I've gone off on some harebrained schemes before during this year.
Well, so
this is the truth of the matter.
That brings me to my next question, because I was going to get there, and then we started with all the permutations. So, how good of a job is Tommy Rees really doing?
I think he did a great job on Sunday.
Okay.
It's been 2 games, right?
But I don't think it's, honestly.
Guys, they lost to the freaking Jets. I don't care what anybody says. They lost to the Jets. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL.
I don't think the offense has looked night and day, do you?
It hasn't looked night and day, but it looked palatable on Sunday, did it not? The guy made a couple of big plays. They didn't really drive down the field.
You guys have not played the audio from all the people around the country who think that they get no credit because it was the Las Vegas Raiders who are one of the worst teams in the NFL. And you got the ball spot.
You got great field position the entire game.
That had nothing to do with the offense. On this whole thing.
John Gruden. Brakes on that a little bit. The throw we keep watching was against an all-out blitz. The Browns don't even pick up the blitz. It's a horrible blitz by the Raiders because they don't contain a right-handed quarterback. They let him out to his right. He made a great throw. But I'm not going to jump off the table yet because he threw a bubble screen for a 70-yard touchdown against the worst entry I've ever seen on defense. They relied on the Wildcat. They relied on their defense to win that game yesterday. And you're right, that was as bad a Raider performance on offense as I've ever seen. But Shedeur did get the win, but I don't think those other 17 or 18 quarterbacks that lost faced a team that played that poorly.
Hey, I'm not going to disagree with John Gruden. The Las Vegas Raiders are a diaper genie of a football team. But you lost to the Jets. Had you not lost to the Jets and you just took care of your business and beat the Jets, I would actually take some of it away. You aren't good. You are a hapless offense. So when you have an offensive coordinator take care of a young quarterback and he don't look like garbage when he ain't had any reps beforehand, when he ain't had a bit of practice beforehand, I'm going to give you credit. It's not Tommy Rees' fault that they decided to try to do Ravens things in Las Vegas when they ain't got Ravens players. It's not his fault. I'm going to give him that credit. Now, they could go out on Sunday against San Francisco and look like garbage, and Jimmy Haslam could laugh in his face and go, yeah, goodbye, go to Westwood. We'll see you later, John Wooden. Go right on ahead. You can do that.
They deserved credit. All I'm saying is I haven't seen this completely different offense. Maybe if you want to say the wrinkle with the Wildcats.
Because it's not.
But did Stefanski have no say in that? Didn't they work together? They did it in Miami.
It's not, because there's only so much you can do. That's the whole point of what I'm trying to say here over the last few weeks with people. There's only so much you can do with the talent you had. You guys, I had to dump callers over Jerry Jeudy a couple of days ago. That's still your number one. He's not a guy that can dangle a watch between Jerry Jeudy's eyes and turn him all of a sudden into the premier wide receiver in the league. That's Jerry Jeudy, not Jamar Chase. That's still a rookie Harold Fannin. That's not veteran George Kittle. Like, these are still guys, they're either too young or they're not good, or they're good but you can't find them. There's so much that's missing on the offense. He can only do so much. That's why I'm like, hey, he should get credit. I don't care. Vegas is bad. He took care of his quarterback. He did a good job on Sunday. Tommy Rees did. So that's why you would consider him for a position like UCLA. And that's why, if you're the Browns, going, hey, well, wait a minute here. Let's talk about your situation with us. UCLA isn't necessarily. That's UCLA, not USC. Let's talk for a minute. I mean, Keith texted us, Deshaun Foster's making $3 million a year. I can pay you. Let's give you $2 million. Now I'm spending Jimmy's money. I'll give you $2 million a year to stay here in Cleveland. How much further $2 million goes in Cleveland than $3 million in Los Angeles?
I just wonder how Stefanski would feel about that.
As far as what?
All of a sudden, his offensive coordinator is gaining power within the organization behind the scenes.
How has he felt the last 6 years while other people have got power over him? How would he feel as a head coach of a team that's winning football games and still everybody elsewhere around the league loves him? I'd feel just fine. You're telling me the quarterback that we waited to start actually looks good?
I'll tell you that
maybe we look better. We all agreed on this. That guy looks good. We just beat San Francisco. I'm 4-8. It's not a complete dumpster fire anymore, even though 4-8 still don't look great. 4-8, we're not a complete dumpster fire anymore. I'm supposed to look bad. I'm supposed to be mad over that? Nah, Kevin ain't going to be mad over that.
I'm just saying that money stuff sometimes does play a bigger role than a lot of people understand. Around the NFL. You'll hear stories down the road
I understand
like, he was making that much under me, and I had to get to this point.
I understand that, but I would feel
Kevin
different.
Was not Kevin was not close to one of the higher paid. I know he got an extension. He was not close to one of the higher paid head coaches in the league.
I'm serious about this, and it is going to come off as a troll if you're just listening. When I tell you that Kevin Stefanski could take over play calling on Monday. And your thought is, what type of stupid radio bit is this? No, Tommy Rees, according to 3 Vegas books, is the leader in the clubhouse for the job at UCLA. If he's the leader for the job at UCLA, you got to hit the ground running. That means you're gone on Monday. You're gone. Their season ends on Saturday. You're out of here on Monday. Introductory press conference time. Hit the ground recruiting time, getting your NILs ready, getting all the board of regents ready, or whatever the hell they have over there, and you're gone. And that means that you still have another month left in the season. You have 5 games after that with the Cleveland Browns. That means Kevin's going to take back over play calling. And depending on how Sunday goes, you may just not care. Because if they go out there and they get boat raced and Shedeur doesn't look good, well then, yeah, I think there's some people who are waiting for the other shoe to drop, and we'll talk about that on Monday. But if they go out there and they look good, I think a lot of people are going to really care. Because I think right now, I think that this season is too far gone. You're 3-8. It's unrealistic for you to make the playoffs. If I'm going to look at Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals and kind of side-eye going, okay, you're only coming back from a leadership perspective. I don't think you're coming back from a playoff perspective. Then I certainly have to think the same thing about the Cleveland Browns. So if this season is too far gone, I think a lot of people will take it as if you're disappointed if they lose, especially if the defense doesn't play well. The defense plays so well that it's been frustrating so far. But if you got good quarterback play, I don't think a lot of people would care as much. It would change the way we think about the draft. It would change the way we think about the future. I think we're about to do some flip-flop and some mental gymnastics here over the next month and a half of the season if the quarterback were to play well, and even if you didn't win football games. Now, I think that your defense is so good that if your quarterback does play well, A couple of these games that are scheduled losses for a lot of us, including for a lot of us, San Francisco. I don't know what the line is for that on Sunday. I think a lot of these quote-unquote scheduled losses, I think they turned into wins. I think that Tennessee, you end up a little tougher than what you'd like to be. Chicago's tougher now. Buffalo's still a tough out. I know that they're kind of on hard times defensively, but that might be a conversation to have about Shedeur. Pittsburgh's kind of up in the air right now in so many ways, but you still got some good teams that are on this schedule to come up. You're still going to turn some of these into wins, and if you turn some of these into wins, that means Kevin stays, and your quarterback has to play at a high level to do so. So I know a lot of people are excited that Shedeur had some really fine moments on Sunday, and they don't like Kevin Stefanski. You don't like any of this news that I'm telling you. It's not fun news, but it's the truth.
By the way, you're 5.5-point dogs at home.
Okay, 216-474-0092. So if it comes to this on Sunday after this game against San Francisco, I'll tell you right now, if he plays that well on Sunday, Tommy Rees would eventually get a head coaching job somewhere at some point. But I have to talk to Tommy Rees if I'm the Browns and go, wait a minute, are you sure you want to do this? Because I would be going, what have they been historically? You're in the Big Ten. Are you taking the check just to take the losses? What is he, 33 or 34 years old? You're still a young Tommy. You're still a young guy. You do well with the Cleveland Browns as the offensive coordinator of this football. This is all based on if they do well on Sunday, guys. This is all based on that. You're still a young guy. You're going to have much better job offers than UCLA if you stay in the NFL as an offensive coordinator and this offense continues to go well. You might have much better NFL jobs that are offered to you in that case. And if you're Tommy Rees, you're not listening to this, but if you're Tommy Rees or Tommy Rees' agent, you are loving what you're hearing right now because you would love to do that. If Shedeur goes out there and looks good, say what you want to about Vegas. They're terrible. They are. But you already lost to the Jets before, so your bar isn't that high. So I give you credit for beating the Raiders. Not a lot of people outside John Gruden doesn't even want to give you a lot of credit for beating the Raiders. I'll say this. I give you credit for beating the Raiders because you're not good. But if we go forward here and you beat a good football team, San Francisco is well coached. They're a quality team. I don't care about the injuries. You beat them. We got to have different conversations about this team and about this quarterback and about this head coach and this offensive coordinator. 216-474-0092. Mike and Shaker Heights, you're first up on the Fan.
Ken, man, you really just made my mouth drop thinking we had to go back to Stefanski.
But I told you the truth. I told you the truth.
Yeah.
I'm not trolling you. That's the truth of the matter here, Mike.
You cannot let Stefanski go back to calling plays. We would go back to an unbalanced run scheme. We'd be throwing 35 times, running 12 times. It's just don't do that to me, Ken. I was really glad Shedeur got a shot. Yes, although it was against the Raiders, who were terrible. But let's just keep this thing going. Like you said, Tommy Rees, do you really want to go to UCLA? So let's stop that before. Don't even get us any more traction. For the love of God, I was trying to enjoy Thanksgiving.
I'm sorry.
Now I'm worried about losing Tony Rees again.
First of all, you didn't even get his name right.
Yeah, you gotta get his name right.
It's Tommy. That's how much you don't like Kevin. It could be Tommy Rees, Tony Rees.
You think he's made that much of a difference?
It don't matter.
I guess I just have not noticed the Browns' offense. Like the Buffalo Bills, when they fired Ken Dorsey a few years ago, their offense took off. It completely changed. They talked about it the entire playoffs. Like this is why the Bills look different. This is why Josh Allen looks different. I haven't really seen that with the Browns offense. They still by all the advanced numbers, the offense was pretty dreadful against the Raiders.
Here's why the indictment on Stefanski is how decent Shedeur looked. When we got DTLR, he went out there and looked terrible with a week of preparation under Stefanski. So this guy, although he looked like a rookie, it wasn't that bad of a game like when Stefanski has had rookies in their first game.
They had 8 first downs that were not aided by penalties. They had 10 3-and-outs. Like did I watch a different game this weekend than everybody else? Apparently I did.
Anthony, the bar is not high.
No, I know.
This is, I think Mike can admit, this is an admittedly extremely low bar, like a pick your foot up and walk over.
And I'm saying, Shedeur,
this is a speed bump
I want
bar.
Shedeur over Dylan Gabriel. I've been pretty adamant about that.
I understand that, and so do I.
That wasn't to dig.
I think
Shedeur,
Mike and Shaker agrees.
He looked like a rookie. Then that's fine. He's going to make rookie mistakes. It was very disjointed though. Like that second half, that third quarter,
Mike,
they
can I
couldn't
say
do
something?
Anything on offense.
Can I say something and see whether or not you just agree or disagree? Okay.
Okay.
I think your fear is based on you have a guy who had to have worked with Shedeur before. Had to have worked with Shedeur at the beginning of this year because you have a head coach that was calling plays at the time who had to get ready for either the starting quarterback and then the primary backup, whether that had been Joe Flacco and then Kenny Pickett, or Pickett and then Flacco, and then it would have been Dylan Gabriel. So there's got to be some sort of rapport that the two have with Tommy Rees and Shedeur Sanders. I don't think that I have to agree somewhat with Tone over there. He didn't just turn these guys magically into the greatest show on turf. But if you have a young quarterback, I think we care much more about the maturation of the young quarterback than we do about the actual results of the team. And so anything that we see that we could look at as trust in a really distrusting time when a team loses, I think we're going to cling on to that, Mike.
Melissa, one thing is this. Stefanski, it was no reason Gabriel had the leash that he had. He was not head and shoulders better than Shedeur based on what we saw on the field. So how can we trust Stefanski to put us in the best position to win when he led us to believe Dylan Gabriel was such this cerebral play breakdowner and was so great? Because he wasn't.
The only thing I can say to that, because I agree with you, Mike, and thank you very much for the call. The only thing I can say to that is if Shedeur were to go out there and struggle so mightily coming up on Sunday, then Kevin could turn right around and go, that's why we were playing Dylan Gabriel, and that's why we were playing him so long.
I mean, the leash was 5 games. Is that many games to start in the NFL?
I thought it was 6 games.
Like, didn't we?
Wasn't it 6? Was it 5 or 6? Hold on.
Didn't we always say, like, Shedeur's going to get his chance?
6 games.
Shedeur's going to get his opportunity, and now he is. I don't think that.
But
in the NFL,
I think you're looking at it. I mean, you had one bearable game out of the 6? I guess 2. Miami, you didn't have to do anything against Miami.
But we said
you just said that against the Vegas Raiders.
We said if they would have lost the Miami game, we think they could have pulled the plug. But they won the Miami game. You're not going to change the quarterback,
of course,
at that point. And then it was trending very poorly after that. Obviously, the Ravens game, he was getting roughed up, and I don't think anybody who would have played quarterback in that game, it would have been good.
That's fine, but Shedeur also played quarterback in that game, and it didn't look very good.
It was very bad. Yeah.
But I think what they're saying is, Dylan Gabriel is an unbearable spot. Now, I will say this, that you could turn right, because a lot of this is we're drawing conclusions to something that we don't know the answer to yet. So if he goes out there and he plays poorly, let's go with this. We all want Shedeur to do well. If he goes out there and he plays poorly on Sunday against San Francisco, like just looks bad too, and they're not just good, but he looks bad doing it, then I think that you look at Kevin, you go, Kevin might have given a reason why he was playing Dylan Gabriel that long, but then I would also say you played Dylan Gabriel too early because you probably had to deal with a trade that you probably didn't want to make in Joe Flacco, and then even before that, Kenny Pickett. Like, those things come back into play here. But if Shedeur keeps going, these calls are going to continue. If Shedeur goes out there and plays well, I will say that beforehand, at the beginning of this year, I thought that they were going to take a quarterback number 2 overall. They didn't take a quarterback number 2 overall, and I thought when they were, I still didn't want that guy to be starting week 1. So I was still in the camp, whether it be Shedeur, whether it be anybody else, I didn't want that guy to start week 1 for the Cleveland Browns, and I wouldn't have started Shedeur had they even taken him number 2 overall. Now, that would have been a terrible fight to have. We didn't have to have it.
Yes, it would have been a battle.
It would have been a battle.
I just the one thing I have to push back, like,
fine,
the fans saying that Shedeur should have been starting from week 1 based on what we've seen so far. No.
I agree with you.
No, that wouldn't have gone well for anybody. And I know this didn't go well for us as is. But that would have been the surest way to make sure Shedeur's career was cut short.
He's the guy that I have the most hope in for. I did not have hope in Dylan Gabriel, not even to be mean-spirited. I have the most hope and the highest ceiling with Shedeur Sanders, and that's why I'm liking the situation right now, because it took time. He did get a chance to go in there and see it. Then he saw what it was like to run around with your chicken with your head cut off, and then I think there was even more trust with Tommy Rees and his coaching staff when he went into the game against the Las Vegas Raiders. Because, all right, you've seen what it's like to actually be left out there on an island, and it ain't fun. Let's look at what it's like with a week of practice, preparation, looking after all this. That's where I think that plays into that. So, again, going out on Sunday, you're going to have bad days at the office. This is just going to happen at times. So he's going to have a couple of clunkers. But I think this builds trust, and I don't want to just lose Tommy Rees to the UCLA Bruins, especially if Shedeur goes out and plays well on Sunday against San Francisco. Let me get one more real quick. Chuck in Cleveland, you're next up on The Fan.
Hey, good morning, guys. How we doing, man?
You got to go quick, Chuck. Go ahead, Brett. We're doing well. Go ahead.
What I want to do, I wouldn't mind having Stefanski back at play caller, because now we've seen a game out of Shedeur. Listen, if anybody could say this man's job, that's probably the only way it's going to happen. So if we go out there and have a good game plan and Shedeur looking good and we get the W, that's more reason that guys should be saying, hey, maybe he is good at what he do. It's just one thing I want to say he's not good at, and it's holding guys accountable. My take is if Sunday Jerry Jeudy goes out there with any shenanigans, he needs to get benched because we got a good draft class, good culture, guys playing hard, and he can start setting examples, holding guys accountable.
Well, you see, the thing that I would be more upset about it, Chuck, thank you for the call. I'd be more upset about what happened in the first half with the 3rd and 16, and Nathan was critical of him saying that he didn't finish the route. That's what I'd be more concerned with. If he's out there and he's walking around, jogging around, doesn't look like he's giving that type of effort, then yeah, I'd be willing to do it. The fumble, I think that he was trying to make a play on the fumble, and I've had a lot of pushback on that, and it's upsetting to see a guy who's supposed to be your number one wide receiver fumble the ball, but I'd be much more upset if he was given slack-ass effort, because you got to try to fight for every single possible yard that you can get. I'm much more upset if he were walking around during routes than he is fumbling the ball trying to get for extra yards.